Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter, of course, at Movies TV Mad, and welcome to Friday's edition of the dceu Daily. And you know what that means? One day, just one day, till the fantabulous, amazing, epic DC fandom. Did you listen at the top of the show? It's not just a signal, it's a warning. And did you hear Pattinson's voice? A little bit later on, of course, I will be discussing everything that Matt Reeves said yesterday. He didn't say much, but we'll be looking at his Twitter account. He did post a picture as well. And again, they've officially confirmed that we get a second trailer of the Batman, a proper trailer this time, not just one that's been cut quickly after a few months of production. Now, I'm not doing that trailer down. It was sensational and it hit the spot. But our main headline today is that Batman will be in the Batgirl movie. Now, it was reported a few months ago that Leslie Grace, and I don't know how accurate this is, because there's a lot of foreign-speaking DC accounts out there, which I press translate on, and they reported this. Well, now, both the directors of the Batgirl movie are confirming that Batman will be in the film, but they are not confirming which one. Well, isn't this interesting, everyone? Everyone, this is interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. By them not telling us which Batman it is, I think this kind of confirms that this is not Batfleck. This is not Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. So, who is it? So it can either be Michael Keaton's Batman, but as I predicted a few weeks ago and months ago, that Robert Pattinson's The Batman Earth 2 would be the central Earth after the Batman. And I think this kind of confirms it. I think it does confirm it. So this is very exciting and very interesting because they're not confirming it. Why wouldn't they confirm it if it was Ben Affleck? It would be, look, he is, at this moment in time, the Earth 1 Batman. So it would be an obvious thing to say, you know, Batman is going to be in Batgirl. And of course, it would help marketing for that movie on HBO Max to tell us it was Ben Affleck's Batman. But I don't think it is. I would love it to be, but it's not going to be. But I don't hate the idea. I don't hate the idea of another Batman being her Batman. I think she's certainly, look, this is what Flashpoint is going to do. It's going to reset who's in the Justice League, who are the main characters, who are, you know, going to be playing these DC characters. And I think they are setting up Robert Pattinson's The Batman universe and Robert Pattinson's Batman himself to be the central Batman. I said it months ago, weeks ago. I said when Barry Allen resets the timeline, he goes running to Wayne Manor, expecting to see Ben Affleck, and it's Robert Pattinson. That could be the big cliffhanger at the end of the movie. It wouldn't surprise me. And so I'm predicting that actually Pattinson is Leslie Grace's Batman. That's just how I'm looking at it. Now, I'm sure you can throw lots of things at me at the comments down below and say to me, Mick, well, it can't be because of this or that. But just remember, after Flashpoint, things will be reset. And things that, you know, when you added 1 and 1 before and they made 6, they will make 4. No, 1 and 1 doesn't make 4, Mick. I didn't go to school. I apologise. So, you know, before, you know, if this kind of theory, 2 and 2 would be like 600, but now 2 and 2 would be 4. I'm so excited I can't even calculate anymore. And so, yes, that's what I believe. Now, you will get a very big angry reaction on social media. As I've said so many times before, social media enjoys being angry about stuff anyway. So why not give them something to be angry about? Listen, when Matt Reeves was first put on to do the Batman, it was kind of, this is going to be his, you know, because he's an auteur, so this is going to be his own universe, nothing to do with anything else. There's one thing that people don't understand, about Robert Pattinson and also Matt Reeves. For a minute, let's talk about Rob. Rob went out and fought for this role. He was working with Christopher Nolan, asked Christopher Nolan what he thought about him playing Batman. Christopher Nolan said it would be great. And then Pattinson went. He went to Matt Reeves. Matt didn't go to him. Matt was obviously going to audition people. Maybe he started auditioning people. But it was Rob who convinced Matt that he could do this. And so, I mean, that voice. That's the perfect Batman voice. You know, no, I'm Batman. Oh, you know, it's amazing. But that's how good an actor Rob is. So Rob fought for this because he's a DC fan. And as I say, there's something you don't understand about Matt Reeves. This is not a man who's coming in. This is not Todd Phillips, who's not really a DC fan and wanted to make a film and use a DC character so it could bring some light to it. This is a proper director who loves DC, and he would love nothing more to be the orchestrator of the full DC cinematic universe, where his universe he's developing and creating will be his, will be the main Earth. So I'm still predicting this. It doesn't mean I'm right. It just means it's a prediction. I think it's great when YouTubers and people talking about anything put themselves out there and don't just report the news and don't say very much and sit on the fence and say, well, it could be that, but then again, it could be that. No, I like to put myself out there. I like to give people kind of receipts. And if you can use these receipts against me, because I'm not saying someone's told me this, I'm telling you that I believe that Matt Reeves' Batman universe will be the central universe, and the Batgirl directors saying that, first of all, them saying Batman is in this movie means this is not going to be some SJW shit show where they say, well, Batgirl doesn't need Batman. Without Batman to inspire her, there's never a Batgirl. Without Batman to inspire her, there's never a Batwoman, right? There's none of these characters if there isn't a Batman, and that's okay. But does a Batgirl movie desperately need Batman? Not if she's a good enough characterization, of course not. But she's part of that universe. But this is what they're doing now. It's all going to be a shared multiverse. The DC shared extended multiverse. This is what they're doing because they know that's what the broader audience want. And of course, I've said this before, there will be self-contained movies as well for all tours. But, you know, this isn't going to be one of them. And so, yeah, this morning, waking up, it's brilliant to hear both these directors who are getting very excited, who are DC fans themselves, and saying that Batman is in this movie. How exciting is that? But what the biggest takeaway, of course, is them saying we can't say which one, because that excites people. Now, something big could happen at DC Fandom in context of this, because these two directors, who will almost certainly be at DC Fandom, as will Leslie Grace, could announce which Batman is in Batgirl. But that could give the game away. So they may not do that. But I'm putting myself out there, which, as I say, YouTubers should. And I'm saying that Robert Pattinson's Batman is the one that will be in Batgirl. And that will be brilliant. What do you think of my Christmas lights? I've decorated the whole house now full of Christmas stuff, because I always start from October, although I've been playing music and watching movies from September. Yeah, I'm nuts. Anyway, so that's that news. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think it's Rob Pattinson's Batman that will be in the Batgirl movie, as I think? Do you think it's in fact Ben Affleck, or do you think it's Michael Keaton? There were rumours reported by certain people, Grace Randolph in particular, that Michael Keaton will be the main Batman after Flashpoint. Now, she's dialed back on this a little bit, so that may not be the case. Now, he may still be involved in the universe, but I'm guessing he won't be the main Batman. Robert Pattinson will be. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about all of this. It's always funny when someone from America greets everyone on Twitter good morning around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's what it's like here in Europe. Can someone comment down below, in fact, because I don't know, because of the time differences, what time would DC Fandom start over in the UK? Because here in Cyprus, we're 2 hours ahead of you. So I'd love to know also, how many hours is DC Fandom on this year? Someone mentioned yesterday around 4 hours. Last year it was a 24-hour event. So can someone just confirm to me how long DC Fandom is and what time it will be starting in the UK, so I can actually plan my videos as well to react to all the big news. Anyway, so yesterday, Matt Reeves greeted us with a very exciting picture. So he says, "Good morning from Gotham City. Can't wait to show you more at DC Fandom. DC this Saturday, the Batman trailer shot." So this is what he showed us. So look how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful Matt shot this. So this is Batman looking on at Gotham City. Now I'm predicting this shot, what it will do, he will actually kind of jump into action there. So there it looks so beautiful, peaceful and tranquil, but then when he jumps into it, it's loud and, you know, mesh and, you know, full of stuff happening. And I think that might be what happens. This would be typical Matt Reeves, of course. So let's see what else he said, if he said anything else. So he said, what happened was, he said 3 days to fandom. This was yesterday, and a fan corrected him. He goes, "Hi, yeah, that's right." So yeah, he's a great guy. Working excruciatingly hard, constant hours, aren't you, Matt? This is from the Battinson Cave. "Indeed," replies Matt Reeves. "Late nights. I said to him, it will be worth it in March," and of course it will. "Matt, it's 2 days. Actually, yeah, 2. Saturday, the Batman DC Fandom." Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. "Can't wait to share this with you." This was the other day, of course. "Are you ready, DC Fandom?" And of course we are ready. But there is an article from Screen Rant covering what happened yesterday. So let's give it a read. If we load up in time. I do love my internet. The Batman trailer image reveals Pattinson looking over Gotham City. Director Matt Reeves shares an image from the upcoming trailer for the Batman showing Robert Pattinson overlooking the city of Gotham by Brennan Klein of Screen Rant. The Batman director Matt Reeves has shared an image from the upcoming trailer for the film. The Batman, which is the latest interpretation of DC Comics' iconic Caped Crusader, is set to come to theatres on March the 4th, 2022. The film will feature Robert Pattinson in a role for the very first time, alongside Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth, and Paul Dano as the Riddler. How many people kind of queried the casting of Colin Farrell as the Penguin until we saw him made up in prosthetics? I mean, sensational. The new trailer is set to premiere at the global live stream fan event DC Fandom 2021. The event will take place November the 16th at 10 AM PST, preceded by the DC Kids Fandom at 9 AM. So that's right. So all I need to know really from any of you in the comments is, what is 10 AM PST in UK time, so I can work it out for Cyprus time. So basically that event starts at 10 AM PST, preceded by DC Kids Fandom at 9 AM. So that's weird, isn't it? How can, this is confusing to me. How can one event start at 10 AM and then preceded by the DC Kids Fandom at 9 AM? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, and feature cast and creators from every sector of the DC universe, including film, television, comics and video games. Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz are all confirmed to appear during the broadcast, and there are certain to be plenty more surprises and announcements in addition to the trailer. Yes, surprises. Robert Pattinson has told us there'll be surprises. Andy Muschietti, who's directing The Flash, has said there's surprises about that film. So there's going to be many, many surprises. And I think a couple of huge surprises from all these projects as well. Ahead of the upcoming trailer release for the Batman, Matt Reeves has just given fans a glimpse at a new still. He posted an image on his Twitter saying, "Good morning from Gotham City. Can't wait to show you more at DC Fandom this Saturday. The still shows a cowed Robert Pattinson on a rooftop overlooking this film's version of Gotham City. Check out the image below. We're way ahead of you. We've already seen it. Much of the plot of the Batman is still largely under wraps. All that is known so far is that Robert Pattinson's version of Batman is in his second year, defending the city of Gotham, and still has changes he wants to see enacted in the crime-ridden city. This new image doesn't reveal anything new on that front, but it does give fans a glimpse of the style that Matt Reeves, who previously directed Cloverfield and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, has planned for the new film. At first glance, this still makes the Batman look like any other recent outing for the character, but it's not. However, there is a lot of detail to be gleaned from this sneak peek at the trailer. For one thing, the colour palette of his image is suffused with an orange glow, giving the scene a much warmer look than recent Batman films. Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy prioritised cool blues and light greys, whereas Zack Snyder's introduction to Ben Affleck's Batman in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice favoured charcoal greys and blacks. This is the warmest and most colourful Batman image in many years, and it will be interesting to see if Reeves continues with this visual instinct throughout the entire movie. Listen, this will be a gritty, brutal city, but the colour palettes will be brighter, just like they are in the comics and the animation, because Matt Reeves is a fan of all that. He's like us. So this won't be, in terms of colour palettes, it won't be as dark as the other movies, and I think that just brings variety. Everyone doesn't have to do the same thing. I mean, Tim Burton did something very interesting with the way he shot his films, but then Tim Burton is the Don as far as I'm concerned. So, any creative auteur can use the colours that he wants. But what's more important than the colours is the story and the characterisation of this iconic DC character. Let's just remind you one of the things I think I recall Matt Reeves saying from last year's Fandom, and I've got it here. Can't remember when he said it. It's not important when he said it, but just listen to this. This is Matt Reeves on the Batman. One of the things that is interesting is learning how to be Batman. It's a criminological experiment. He's trying to figure out what he can do to change this place. That's when the murders start to happen. It opens up a whole new world of corruption. So it's only when he decides to make a change these murders begin to happen. But as we know, the murders are not just motiveless murders. They're sending a signal to the corrupt of Gotham, and they're sending clues to the Batman as well, because the Riddler is in direct contact with the Batman as well. This is interesting. What if the Riddler and the Batman in this movie actually team up? And in this version of the movie, although he's a murderer, he's a kind of more of a Dexter character, a damaged character who's actually got, I suppose, he's trying to save Gotham in his own way. And we're not trying to say that killing people is right, but what if he isn't actually the villain of the movie? He kind of is, because he's killing people, but what if he's actually part of a dynamic duo, but not Robin, but it's actually Riddler and Batman who unite together? I think that could happen. So that's very, very interesting. So yeah, this is the kind of core. This is why it's different. Matt Reeves has thought very, very deeply about this story and this film and this trilogy. I think it'll be more than a trilogy, because there's going to be spin-offs. He's got what? How many spin-offs has he got? I think he's got, and there's a rumour, by the way, something else I nearly forgot to mention you in the update, is that Poison Ivy is definitely being developed in live action, either at HBO Max or through the theatrical system. I think this will also be announced at DC Fandom, and it could be something that Matt's doing himself, but it might be totally different creative, as it is with Catwoman and, Black Canary, who we've already seen in Birds of Prey. But Matt's doing Gotham PD. That's an official Batman spin-off. He's also doing a Penguin movie or limited series as well. So this is why I think his universe, his Earth, is the central Earth, because he's had more spin-offs than anybody else. It's very, very exciting. But yeah, Matt's thought very, very deeply about this and what kind of Batman this will be. And even though we're joining him in year 2, he's frustrated that year 1 didn't work out for him. Because the problem with Batman is, no matter how proficient he is at stopping villains, he never will clean up Gotham City. This is the brilliant line from BVS that Chris Terrio wrote. Criminals are like weeds, Alfred. You pull up one, another one grows in its place. I love that, because that is Batman's world. That is Gotham City, and that's the real world. No matter how many task force there is to stop paedophile rings and drug pushers and all that, there's always more in their place. And that's why Gotham City and the world at large, in fact, will always need Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and all these heroes. It's an ongoing battle, and that's what I love about these stories and these DC characters. So yeah, Matt's really look, people are having a go at the Batman stands because they're saying this is going to be the best movie ever. You know, they're getting really excited. Let me tell you why they're saying this and they're so certain of this, because people say, we don't know what the film's going to be like. We haven't seen it yet. Wait till the trailer on Saturday, by the way. But this man is a genius. We heard the Batman's voice yesterday, right? That's Robert Pattinson and his voice. It's not a modulator, it's his voice, it's his acting. This is part of the Matt Reeves vision. Matt Reeves has got a brilliant, perfect vision. This probably will be the best Batman in live action, and I think it will even go beyond the animated Batman we've had, which have been probably even better than the live action Batman as far as I'm concerned, because I think what Matt's doing is he's got his own idea, but it all stems from the, you know, origin material in the comics, and he's a big fan of that. I think this is a Batman that ultimately kids and parents and adults and all types of demos can actually enjoy this Batman. I think this is going to be the difference between this Batman, even Christopher Nolan's Batman, and even Zack Snyder's Batman. And I think that's something he's sat down with Warner Brothers and discussed, and I think that's great. The picture we saw him overlooking Gotham, I think it's brilliant, and I think it shows tranquility, because Gotham isn't a tranquil city. So I think what they're doing there, as I said on the top of the show, is they're seeing him looking at it as a peaceful city, but when he dives down into the city using his wings or whatever, right, then there's probably fires, explosions and things like that. That could be how the movie starts. And this is a picture from the trailer. That could be how the trailer starts. Imagine if I'm right about that, and I haven't seen it. I promise you. But that's my prediction. Again, let's see if one of my hunches comes true. So I said yesterday, it's amazing how much of my hunches come to pass. But yes, one day to DC Fandom, can't wait, and we'll be sharing the experience together all day tomorrow, and I can't wait. Are we sure Linda Carter isn't related to Tom Holland? Because Tom Holland keeps on revealing spoilers, doesn't he, all the time? Yesterday he said, after Spider-Man No Way Home, and I know this is unrelated to the DCEU, but I'll get there because this is related to the DCEU. He said, Spider-Man No Way Home will be the last in that trilogy. And if they do come back, it will be dramatically different. It looks like Sony are taking an iron grip on that franchise and pulling it away probably from Disney and the MCU. I hope so anyway, because I do want Spider-Man to mature a bit. It'd be great to see what Sony themselves could do with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, or, you know, Andy Garfield's or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I think they're going to do a whole lot more with them as well. Anyway, Linda Carter has got the foot-in-mouth disease as well, for many reasons, but yesterday she was talking about movies and about Gal's Wonder Woman, and she said, yeah, Patty's going to do the same for Wonder Woman 3. Wonder Woman 3 will have many, many surprises. And then the interviewer goes, we actually thought you knew something there. And Linda's going, oops. So, yeah, it definitely looks like from that video, and I think she didn't accidentally blurt that out. It was all planned. It's looking like, because they're talking about Wonder Woman 3 now, and of course, her character is going to be in Wonder Woman 3, and that's what Patty's vision is, setting up this character for Wonder Woman 3. But Ronnie Dodge made a great point. What if she's a wolf in sheep's clothing? Let me say it again. What if she's a wolf in sheep's clothing? This character, what if she lulls Diana in, manipulates her, seduces her, but actually she's a villain? They could do so many things with that. She could be, Linda Carter could be the villain of Wonder Woman 3. Well, who knows? I'm not so sure about that, because I'm not sure if she could actually play that whole thing. Is she healthy enough? She's quite old now as well, so I don't know. But it'd be great to see more of her, of course, in Wonder Woman 3. Linda Carter started off live action Wonder Woman. She did a great job. Not my cup of tea, and Gal is the, she's the GOAT. Absolutely. So, yeah, with people like Linda Carter and, Patty, saying things on social media about Wonder Woman 3, it's looking like we're going to get a big Wonder Woman 3 set of announcements at DC Fandom, and I welcome that. But there is a rumour that will scare you. Apparently, Jeff Johns and Patty Jenkins will write Wonder Woman 3 together. Now, this will make sense, because if they're just allowing her to continue her vision, then Jeff would return. Jeff hasn't totally been cancelled. He's doing a great job with Stargirl. He will never lead the DC live-action universe again, but he will be involved in a portion of it, which is Stargirl, which is this. Look, hopefully Patty will finish off her trilogy, and then we can do other things. I don't know what will happen in the future, but yeah, this will probably definitely be the conclusion of this trilogy. Then Patty can go on her merry way, and hopefully that will be it. But Patty may have learned her lesson and rein in something she did for Wonder Woman in 1984. But yeah, a lot of people are not going to be happy about this. But let me give you a hot take, because I'm not the biggest fan of Wonder Woman 84, but I still think it's an okay film. But let me give you a hot take of what could happen here. I've kind of predicted this before. Now, I'm probably way off base and totally wrong. What if she announces a Wonder Woman 84 that she gets a story credit and a producer credit, but she's not directing the movie because she's got a scheduling problem? She's doing Cleopatra, she's doing Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Where's she going to fit in Wonder Woman 3? Think about it. So what if she's actually doing a story credit, and Warner Brothers have been smart here, and she just says it's a scheduling problem and somebody else comes in to direct this? Now, who could do that? There were rumours of Zack Snyder himself. Of course, I would be well down for that, because basically the first movie is the best movie, one of the best movies, comic book movies of all time. And Zack Snyder made that happen. Zack Snyder and the writer he brought in both did an amazing job. Pretty much, Patty is not really Patty's vision, this trilogy anyway. The first film, the best film, is Zack's vision. We all know that. She took away his vision. She took away the sword and the shield for a reason. She didn't like it. So that says she didn't really like the first film. That's why the second film, Wonder Woman 1984, is so dramatically different and is set so far away from the first one. She hates the first movie. The only kind of thing she had to do in the first movie, it looks like, is call action. And she was a glorified director as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I think she should get a story credit and a production credit, but she won't direct the movie. And she'll say, this is the director I've chosen, right? It could be a female. It could be anyone. But what this means is that maybe she won't really be that much in charge. Now, maybe she has co-written the story with Jeff Johns. Maybe that's going to happen. I don't know. But she may not direct it. So this will be very interesting what happens here. Look, at DC Fandom, when this movie's announced, anything can happen. She could come out and say, I'm co-writing with Jeff Johns again and I'm directing the movie, as everyone expects. People are going to hate that happening. We know she's probably directing the movie anyway, but Jeff Johns coming back will be very triggering to many, many Wonder Woman fans, especially. I'm surprised Jeff wrote what I saw in Wonder Woman 84. Jeff Johns wrote some fantastic episodes of Smallville. He's a great writer. He's a great comic book writer, whatever you think of him personally as a person. And I was surprised that he had anything to do with any of that. I think the problem with Wonder Woman 84, Originally, they were going to do the Flashpoint story. They were going to, reboot the DCEU with Wonder Woman 84. Then they changed their minds and they had to go back and change elements of that film. This is why the delay happened from 2019 to 2020. And I think that's why that film ended up a bit of a mishmash in the end. So I think this movie will be very, very different. Now, Walter Hamada has got his total hands and attention on the DCEU. Nothing's going to mess up this man's vision. So, yes, but don't be surprised if it's announced she's co-writing the story and producing it, but not directing it. We will see if that's another prediction I've got right. This has been the DCEU Daily. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Don't forget, I think I will be able to have time to do an initial DCEU Daily, a shorter than usual DCEU Daily before Fandom. That's what's going to happen. And then we get into Fandom. I assume a European time, it could be 4, 6 in the evening, or whatever time it is, in the morning in the US, of course. Every time there's a big panel, and after it finishes, I will react to it, whether it's a movie, whether it's a television show, an Arrowverse thing, and things like that. I will be all in tomorrow to do bite-sized videos, because my internet's crap. They will have to be 2, 3, 5 minutes at most videos, because I want to be able to keep on watching. If I'm uploading videos, I won't be able to go to dcfandom.com because my internet's not that good. But I promise you to react and keep you apprised of anything that happens. As you know, this is massive for me. This is massive for this channel. I want to thank the new subscribers, because we got some new subscribers yesterday. Whether you're a DC fan, whether you're a Doctor Who fan, or you're a fan of some of the other videos that I've made, thank you for joining. As you can see, this is not a very successful channel. And so I could do with all the support I can get. And so I thank you for that support, and I hope you don't withdraw your support. If you ever do get upset about something I say, just remember, it's not about hurting you. It's just my opinion. It's not a universal opinion. It doesn't make me totally right. It just makes me right from my point of view. And you're always more than welcome to constructively comment down below and talk to me on my other socials as well. So don't just leave just because I do or say something you don't like. Anyway, comment down below. Like, share and subscribe. Please smash the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you tomorrow for the biggest day of all time, DC Fandom 2021. And I'll be wearing the pink shirt, because pink is an important colour for an important day. See you tomorrow.